I'm Ryan Milton from Team Flex, and today we're going to be looking at the NPC Masters USAs. We're going to look at these master classes, this category, and go over the criteria, the placings, why they landed the way they did, and what it means for you as a Masters competitor out there wanting to do your best on stage. And that's what we do on this channel all the time, is go over everything you need to know to do better. So if you are new here, please hit that subscribe button, hang out. We got a lot of cool stuff coming up. So here's our Masters USA, and this is a pro qualifying event, meaning you can get a pro card here for Masters athletes only. Those of you that don't understand what a Masters athlete is, it's basically once you hit certain age tiers, you get to compete in certain age tiers. So this event here, we're going to look at a few of them. We're going to actually look at our Masters 35 plus and then our Masters 50 plus, but there's all in between there. So 35, 40, 45, 50, and depending on the events you choose, it may go even higher than that. But basically, when you are competing as a Masters athlete in a Masters class, you're competing only against athletes that are at least in that age group, meaning that nobody below 35, for example, in this class here is going to be competing there. So it can be an advantage to certain athletes out there trying to get a pro card to actually go into your age tier and compete there and really maximize your potential there. While the criteria remains the same, you will find some differences that occur in the Masters divisions, the Masters classes and otherwise. Something people always ask me is, is it less competitive? Is it easier to get a pro card? I think if you watch this video to the end, you'll find that does not tend to be the case. So what we're going to look at here is first this Masters 35 plus class. Then we'll look at a Masters 50 plus class for bikini. And then we're going to actually look at wellness in the same video today and just kind of throw it all in there. We'll look at Masters 40 plus wellness. But this is 3 class winners basically here on the screen of the Masters 35 plus class. So again, these athletes are all at least 35 plus. And so here's our class winner and the overall winner, the IFBB Pro Card winner, Heather. Okay, she's right in the middle. And so if you don't know this, this is not a nationals like, other nationals, NPC nationals, for example. You can compete. Top 2 are going to win pro card in every class. Well, at some events, and specifically at Masters USA, only the overall winner will win the pro card. So Heather is the only one in the Masters 35 plus division that won a pro card at this event. To her left, though, we have over here Laura. She's a class winner of Class B. And then we have over here Marina, and she is Class D winner. So a couple of our class winners, and then obviously our overall winner, our pro card winner of Class E there, Heather. So let's talk a little bit about this and go over criteria and judging and how the placings may have landed the way they did. So when we look at Heather, what you want to start focusing on is the hourglass shape that is created by her physique. And we'll see actually that all the athletes in this lineup really do exemplify that look. It does pull it all together. The width of the shoulders pulls into the waist, brings back out at the lower body, and that's overall what creates the hourglass. Now, we see this in a little bit of variance depending on the athlete we're looking at, right? So for Heather here, we have just a little bit of the shoulder shape, the definition, that size, that development that creates this upper base of that hourglass shape. She's got a very narrow waist that tapers in really well. So again, it creates this V-tapered look, very dramatic for judges to see that. And then when they look to the lower body, what they're looking for is those muscle groups to match. So we should see some glute here, which we do. We should see quad development, which we do. And overall, just balance, symmetry, shape, proportion, and balance. That's what bikini is all about. And it is what bikini is all about as you go up in the age tiers as well. Keep that in mind. Her conditioning from the front is pretty much nailed on point, 100%. We can see a little bit of soft lines in the shoulders and the abdominals and the oblique, flat stomach, all markers that judges are looking for. So she really does nail this look. Looks very symmetrical, really brings it in. And again, she wins the overall, wins a pro card. So that again is a pro qualifying physique right there for you, ladies and gentlemen. Now looking over here at Laura. So Laura has all the same kind of markers, which we would see at a pro qualifying event, right? Athletes are generally going to be very close. She's got good shoulder shape, good development, tapers into the waist well, balances back out into the lower body, the glutes and the quads and the hamstrings for her her. She looks a little bit more muscled, in my opinion. She just carries a little bit more muscle overall. It still works for her, considering, you know, that she's balanced up and down. But again, that little bit more muscle can start to kind of push the look a little bit, and that can take you, you know, out of those top exact placings in the overall and so on and so forth. Keep in mind, she won her class, though, at a national competition. So that is very you know, indicative that she is on criteria. She is very much where she needs to be. But the difference between her and Heather here is that Heather's a little bit more of that kind of compacted shape, where it looks like Laura has a little bit more of that muscle mass overall. So I think that's one of those things that kind of push it through, that maybe that was the thing that judges went for, a little bit more of the shape and the symmetry in this situation versus the more muscle mass in this lineup. Looking over here at Marina, we see a lot of the same markers, delt shape, shoulder shape, all good. Tapers into the waist nicely. A little bit of posing difference here, right? Maybe tweak the posing a little bit would have been advantageous to her in this lineup. It's a little bit more squared off, which kind of makes, you know, can take your taper a little bit out. But that's, you know, just the way it is for some athletes to choose to pose whatever. Everybody chooses to pose differently, and, you know, judges are going to judge based on what they can see, and that's how it works. She does, you know, rebalance in the lower body, brings the glutes, the quads, and the hamstrings all to shape, and she is on par with conditioning. So, you know, that's really what we see in this lineup. You know, to look at Laura again too, she may just be a tad harder than the rest in this lineup. So maybe a little bit too lean in those ways. We start to see a little bit of rib going on here. So again, just things that could indicate the difference between the pro card placing versus not. Heather very much nails this front, but as we always talk about, we got to go to the back to get the full story. And that's where we, again, get to see a lot of similarities, but some clear differences. So Heather's back pose here, very balanced. You can see the shoulders just a little bit from here. Still can see the taper into the waist. And then really what takes the show is going to be the lower body, which is what we should see. Upper glute development, creating the shape. It's all there. Overall glute development, this tie-in, this soft separation, you know, this slight separation between the glutes and the hamstrings. That's what judges want to see. She ties it in nicely. She does seem to have a bit of a quad sweep going on here. This appears to be more posing, but it doesn't hurt her physique. And that's all right. You know, sometimes I say in the videos that a quad sweep from the back is going to be more indicative of wellness. But in this lineup, it's not something that hurts her. It's not something that's creating a problem. It's really more indicating that she has a solid muscle foundation, good base. And again, that's pro qualifying, pro card winning muscle right there, ladies and gentlemen. So over here now, looking at Laura, it looks to be, again, like I said, she's a little bit muscled, a little bit too muscular. And, you know, where she looked very balanced from the front, it's less balanced from the back. Her glutes are very developed. Her quads are very developed, showing through. She's got, you know, killer tie and everything is all here. It's just very kind of lower body dominant in this look. So again, that can be a factor for when you're talking about the overall differences. She still wins her class, still a very on criteria look for this division, but she is a little bit maybe lower body heavy in this lineup, and that can be a factor. Also, it does appear maybe her upper glute is a bit, you know, kind of depleted, not as full as it could have been to create a little bit more of that shape. Looking over here now at Marina, what we can see is good shape, good balance. She's actually a bit stronger from the back pose, I would say, overall. This is all tying together nicely. Upper glute is there, overall glute, maybe a little bit more in the tie-ins here would have been an advantage for her in this lineup. But again, she wins her class. That's very, very good. A little bit different as far as, you know, the front pose, maybe if that was improved, could have been a dramatic thing for her. But again, wins the class. So we're looking at class winners trying to decide, you know, how does the overall winner really just kind of tie in, get that and bring it through, get that pro card. And if you like videos like this, you're watching right now, never say this stuff, but subscribe, okay? Because some of you might be new, you've never seen our videos before. We do this all the time. And really, I just want to give you guys the information that you need to know to do better on stage. And that's really hopefully the goal of what we're doing. Now let's move on to another class, okay? So this brings us to Masters 50 Plus. I want to look at the Masters 50 Plus class now, talk about a couple of our class winners here and our overall pro card winner. So Rosanna right here in the middle, she's our 50 Plus Bikini overall winner and pro card winner. And remember, we're talking about these athletes being at least 50 plus. So you ladies out there that, you know, are getting in these different age tiers, 40, 45, 50, even above, like there are competitions for you to do. You can compete and you can still get in those shapes and you can still get that kind of physique, and you absolutely should. You should definitely do it. If it's a goal you've had or even a thought, it is worth exploring and worth seeing that through. So really great job to all these ladies in this lineup, okay? Elaine over here is our class winner A, and then we have Brenda over here, our class D winner. So again, we're just going to look at a few of the class winners, not exactly sure where they lined up in the overall, but this is a couple of them. And then obviously our overall pro card winner, Rosanna. So Rosanna has everything that you would look for on a bikini competitor like we just talked about. The shoulder shape is there, taper into the waist is there, and rebalances down into the lower body, the glutes, the hamstrings, and quads. Her conditioning is very, very on point, where we would see these soft lines in the shoulders, the abdominals, the flat stomach, and then, maybe a little bit here in the lower body, the quads, the glutes. It's all there. So very strong front pose for her. Very, very dialed in look. Not much to say about it that could be improved here. It's a pro card winning physique in the 50 plus bikini category. Now looking over here at Elaine. So Elaine looks a little bit more muscled, right? And this is, again, she's in a shorter class at this point. So that can be one of those things. It's kind of an illusion where it looks like you have a little bit more muscle because you might be a shorter athlete. So that's something you got to take into consideration when we're looking at these. But she does have a lot more mass upper body. It appears in the biceps, the triceps, even in the lats here. Tapers in the waist nicely. Lower body brings back out, and the glutes and the quads and the hamstrings all in good balance and symmetry. It's something that you really want to have. Bikini division is good balance, not only up and down, but also in the individual muscle groups, like the glutes and the quads and the hamstrings. They should all match and be in the same symmetry together to create the perfect look. And she's got it. I mean, she nails that. Maybe a little bit more muscle, like I said, but she, again, wins that class. Very good placing at a national event. And looking over here at Brenda, very good symmetry, maybe a little bit upper body dominant in this. It kind of, gives us a little bit of that shoulder, tapers into the waist nicely, and then lower body shape is here, but maybe just need a little bit more muscle in that group to kind of take the pro card or the overall in this lineup. But again, she won her class. So again, very on par with criteria, very much class winning physique. Just trying to talk about the differences between the overall and the class winners. And as we always say, we got to go to the back to get the full story. So Rosanna in the middle here, a little bit of shoulders. This is what we should see. Tapers in. That's what we should see there. And then lower body, the upper glute shape is very apparent. You can see it. Overall glute shape. Tie-in is there. Everything matches with the glutes, the quads, the hamstrings, all good symmetry, all good proportion, and the conditioning is right where it should be. So very much a slam dunk look here for Rosanna. And that's, hard to say. Much could be better there. And then looking over here at Elaine, again, a little bit more of a muscled look. So she does have a lot of size in the lower body, but the conditioning is also not as tight here. We can see from the back a little bit softer of this, lines in the glutes and the hamstrings, and that can be a factor as well. But again, class winner, great job. Over here, Brenda, just needs a little bit more of that muscle depth, a little bit more of that muscle clarity, bring in the conditioning a little bit. And where her shoulders looked, dominant from the front, they do not appear that way as much from the back here. So it could be one of those things where changing the front poses or fine-tuning the poses can be an advantage for competitors as well. But again, she wins her class. So great job. These ladies are 50 plus. This is nothing to scoff at. Very, very good physiques. And I hope it's an indicator to all you watching that, like, if you are out there and you have, decided that you can't compete or wouldn't pursue it because of your age, well, these ladies are 50 plus and still winning pro cards, and that's pretty exciting stuff. So go out there and do it, no matter what group you are, okay? Now, we're going to just throw wellness in here, just one wellness class, couple wellness winners I want to look at and get into. So here's our wellness 40 plus class. And what we have here is we have our class A winner over here, Amy. We have Danica over here, our overall and pro card winner from class B. And then we have over here Samantha, class C wellness. This is 40 plus. And so these ladies are at least 40 and, could be a little bit above that, but that's where they're at. And this is, again, very good lineup for these ladies. Very on par criteria. We will see some clear differences. Let's talk a bit about this. So Danica, our overall winner and our class winner, very much the most muscular athlete on stage by far. Okay, so she has a lot of upper body muscle. You start to look at that upper body, and if we weren't looking at the lower body at all, you'd be like, wow, that's too much upper body muscle for wellness. But really, her lower body is so massive. Like, looking at her lower body, the glute shape and the quads and the hamstrings, I mean, this is so much muscle density here. It still imbalances to the upper body, which is crazy, but it is a way you can pull off that look. If you are one of the athletes that have a little bit of a dominant upper body, okay, well, just get your lower body more dominant if you're in wellness, and you can still, do well. She wins the overall here and gets a pro card. So again, nothing to scoff at. That's a very good placing. Her conditioning is really on point. These lines that we would see in the glutes, the quads, the abdominals, everything is there. It does look to be like the upper body could be too far, but it's not, because her lower body is just so big. So that's a very, very dominant wellness look right there on that stage. And looking over here at Amy, what we can see, class A, not dominant in the upper body like Danica is, but still tapers in well and brings in the lower body shape. Everything is here, glutes, quads, all of that. Class winner. Does not get to the overall win, I think, just based on the sheer size of Danica and her lower body. Very hard to come in and be up against that much muscle and, win the whole thing. And the same thing really for Samantha. She's got the overall look. You can tell the upper body's not too dominant. Tapers into the waist well. Glutes and quads and hamstrings here just does not have the amount of mass, not the amount of development, and probably could improve her lower body musculature density wise to showcase a little bit better of the wellness look there, a little bit more of that imbalance. And let's see from the back, because the story is always fully told here, and that's where we can very much see, again, Danica just so much muscle mass going on here. Even from the back, even though she's got bigger shoulders, this is still a very dominant lower body look. Quad sweeping from the back, tie-ins, and this hamstring, like, it's so developed that it doesn't even stop a tie-in. It's like just an ongoing tie-in. So that's definitely a very dominant lower body look for wellness, and that's what we see. Upper glute shape, overall glute shape, everything's there. Tie-in. That is a very on par wellness criteria look, and hence how she wins, not only her class, but also the overall, gets the pro card. Looking over here at Amy, again, very, very good wellness physique. I mean, this is really on point. Upper body's there, lower body still dominant, glutes showing well, tie-in showing well, everything's there. Quad sweep really nailed the condition. But again, she wins the class, doesn't win the overall, probably just based on the size, just based on the sheer muscle size of Danica here in the lower body. And looking over here at Brenda, good shape in the upper body, tapers in nicely. You look to the lower body, and what we can see is that she just does not have as much mass as either of these athletes in this other, this comparison at least. And basically that's going to be the thing. She just needs more size in the quads, the hamstrings, the glutes overall, bring that up. Again, when you're in a lineup with Danica, like we're looking at, I mean, it's very, very hard to go any other way. She's the very clear muscle dominant winner of that class, and a very key indicator of wellness athletes. You got to have that lower body be, really developed, really on par, really on point. And the more muscle you can bring, the better it's going to be for you. And we talk about that a lot, and that's really what we're seeing on stages. And this is a pro qualifying event. So a really great job to all the ladies in this lineup. Obviously, we didn't review every single athlete at this event. If your class, you would like me to review that, you would like me to bring that up, or you have other ideas, other competitions you want me to see, please comment them. And if you're new, or you haven't subscribed and you keep watching my channel, please subscribe, because we got a lot of great content coming for you, more things that we're going to be putting out. And of course, many, many more comp reviews to help make you your best on stage. Thank you for watching. Coach Ryan is out.